Welcome back to Analytical Media. We are a consortium, a group of therapists, college professors, and well-published, peer-reviewed authors. Today's question: am I a bad person for not caring for my father? I'll repeat that. Am I a bad person for not caring for my father? And now here's the letter behind the story. And it's rather long. I'll try to read as much as I can to you. My father has made my life hard since I was a child. I wasn't allowed to pursue my interests. I tried to take art classes in middle school and had to persuade him to let me, only for him to take me out of it and place me in a computer class anyway. I wasn't allowed to get a C in school. When I did, it was in an AP class, and he grounded me for 2 weeks. He forced me to take sports, saying I could get something I wanted if I joined a sports team for a season. Then I would quit. When I went to college, he made me pursue computer classes despite my interest in art. I dropped the class after the stress and fear made me hurt myself. He never actually knew that. He then made us talk to my counselor about why I can actually achieve, and when she said art, he was disappointed. She does write about why I can actually achieve. I think she meant about what I can actually achieve. I got into a nice 4-year university and even recently got into a hard-to-enter art program at the school. He emailed me that he isn't happy with my effort. My parents divorced right after I finished high school and said they stayed together for me. I went to live with my mom and my dogs. He pays for my schooling. I apply for scholarships and try my best to save money because he is paying, as was our agreement. He paid for my brother through school, and he took even longer than me. He pushed me to apply for the programs I got accepted to, and now it's as if I owe him for it. He wants me to do more. Originally, I was supposed to get time to get my degree, and now I'm expected to find jobs and internships. He basically said he won't be happy unless I'm constantly busy. Well, I agree I need a job. I think he's being unfair. He said he won't pay unless I do this. He pushed me here just to leave me to fend for myself. I have a lot of issues with him. I have talked to friends about it, and they act like it's not that bad. I feel lost. I just want to get away from him. I have no interest in a relationship with him once college is done. Now you can see this is far from a healthy relationship between the two of them. He has been very controlling, as she has pointed out here. And that, of course, is wrong. He has to respect his child and guide his child, but not force her to go in a particular direction. However, he is paying for her education, which is a good thing. Lots of children, even if their parents can't afford it, lots of them will not have parents to pay for their education. They'll have to borrow money or pay for it themselves. The situation that this girl has presented us does not seem black and white. It doesn't seem like it's all her father's fault or all her fault. She does seem a bit selfish, a bit demanding. He doesn't owe her an education. And just because he paid for her brother doesn't mean he should pay for her. It seems as if the daughter is a bit unrealistic. In life, you do not have the right to demand anything. You must fight for what you get. You must work for what you get. She can't demand to become a successful artist. She can't demand to become an art teacher, to be hired as an art teacher. Life can be really hard. Apparently not so hard for her because she doesn't have to pay for her education. And for most of you out there, I think you did have to pay for your own educations. You're still paying for it. Trying to repay school loans. You worked. You had jobs. And even if your parents helped, you probably had jobs. And you were grateful for the help you got from your parents. She doesn't seem so grateful. She seems demanding and upset with him because he won't give her everything she wants. He won't agree with everything. For instance, he wanted her to pursue a degree in computer classes. Well, that's fairly practical because you could certainly get a job with a degree in computers. And I'm sure that was his goal, for her to be happy, to be able to get a job. With a degree in art, she may not be able to get a job, any kind of job. But isn't there a compromise? Could she not have done a double major, computers and art, or a major in computers and a minor in art? With a major in computers, she'd still be able to get whatever jobs would be available. And the minor in art would not be harmful. She's trying to get educated. If she wanted to teach after that or do something else, teach art, she could get a master's degree. She might have to borrow the money. Maybe her dad's done carrying her. And I say that in that fashion because he is. He is carrying her. She does not have the right to get a college education. It doesn't come with anything. She's upset because he isn't happy with her efforts. He emailed her that information. Well, he has a right to his opinion. She says, he pays for my schooling. I apply for scholarships and try my best to save money because he is paying. I would think any thankful, grateful child would do that. I don't think that's anything above minimum effort. Obviously, he wants her to succeed. She says, he pushed me to apply for the program I got accepted into, and now it's as if I owe him for it. He wants me to do more. Originally, I was just supposed to get time to get my degree, and now I'm expected to find jobs and internships. Do you think he's asking too much to expect her to find jobs and internships? Isn't that part of what you went through in school? Did you have it that good? I mean, I'm glad if you did, but lots of people finish school, finish their education, finish their PhDs or finish medical school without any family help. Either because their families had nothing they could give them, which oftentimes was the case, or because their families had plenty of money but wouldn't give them anything. I knew of a case where a college student, was a second-year student, could have received a large scholarship, which would have paid most of the cost of his education. But he needed his parents to fill out a financial report, including a copy of their income tax. And the parents refused. And that probably cost this student $100,000. 4 years at $25,000 a year. We're estimating, we're guessing. It cost a lot of money. That's how little the parents cared about that child. They weren't giving that child any money. They wouldn't even fill out a financial report, a financial disclosure, which was necessary because the father was still deducting this student on his income tax. The father could be wrong. He could be wrong and he might be too controlling. We can't tell from this little bit of information. She might be misjudging him. Maybe his interest in her was all very good and well-intended, but she took it the wrong way. There are hints in here of what might be called the spoiled brat syndrome. Does this girl sound a little spoiled? We're not condemning her, certainly I'm not. But you know what happens to spoiled brats. Life teaches them differently. Life teaches them. Maybe your mother spoiled you Maybe your dad spoiled you, but we're not going to spoil you. You're not going to get anything you don't earn and work for. There are hints of that. Things aren't always black and white, but I would say certainly it's possible that this girl has been spoiled. She doesn't mention her mother except to say that her parents got divorced when she finished high school. If you look at the grammatical errors in this email, this letter that was sent, it appears to be maybe written by someone whose native language is not English. This could be a foreign family who came to this country. The girl might have been raised in that family, might have been an immigrant. Maybe her parents were and she was born here. There are grammatical errors. Some I corrected as I was reading it to you, and some I read to you and pointed out it was an error. As you know, there are immigrants who value education very much and can be very demanding of their children and controlling. And that could be the case here. However, the father did encourage her to get into that art program eventually. And now he wants her to work hard there to get scholarships and to be busy all the time. And that's the way it should be. I see nothing wrong with that. We discuss all of these questions in meetings at Analytical Media. We discuss all of these, and we all have opinions which are almost identical. A little different here and a little different there. I am only presenting the consensus from the Analytical Media meeting. No one would disagree with what I'm saying. This was all mentioned in the meeting which we had about 3.5 hours ago. Perhaps the father was too controlling. Perhaps. There's no clear sign that that's the case. After all, he did support her applying for that 4-year art degree, that special program. Eventually he did. Not at first, but eventually. But many of the things that she says do not sound like a hard-working, deprived, loveless child. She sounds demanding. She dislikes her father. She wants to have no relationship with him after she graduates. Now, this guy paid for her education, and she will be graduating with a degree in art, which was her goal to begin with. And she's upset with him, wants no relationship because he didn't support her goal from the beginning. I would think she's being unrealistic. We would think that. I don't know any parents that are perfect, but this father doesn't sound so bad. So we kind of agree with her friends. She says, I have talked to friends about it, and they act like it's not that bad. Well, we would have to agree with those friends. It's not that bad. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's not that bad. We are a consortium of therapists, college professors, and well-published, peer-reviewed authors. If you found this interesting, if you think someone else would benefit from it, please share it with them. Subscribe if you want more of this. If you liked what you heard, subscribe. If you want to spread this material to people you don't know, then definitely subscribe and definitely click on like, because that tells the algorithm that YouTube uses that you support this, that you're behind it, that you'd like it to go and spread. That's what it means when you subscribe and hit like. Irregardless, I hope you do, of course, but irregardless, we'll be back with more. We at Analytical Media wish you the best of luck and happiness, and we will see you later.